Hi friends! I don't know if I filmed an intro clip to this reading vlog or not. If I didn't, hi, hey, hello. I filmed some clips over the weekend. Aren't really reading related, but they're little fun stuff, and I'm gonna insert those right now.
Flashback.
I need to get on my Oscar nominated movie watching game. So I have a pizza, and we're going to start with Sound of Metal, which I've seen trailers for and it looks pretty good. So hopefully that's the case. Yeehaw! Happy Easter! I put pepperonis in these little plastic Easter eggs, and I'm gonna let Bindi do a little Easter egg hunt. She did it a couple years ago. Haven't done it since. She really liked it, so I wanted to do it again. My niece already did her own Easter egg hunt, and apparently Bindi remembers doing one because she was mad that there wasn't one ready for her. So yeah, you're right, you dummy.
Oh, there it is. I'm ready to
You get it open?
You get open? You can get open.
I'm not helping you.
Ah, there you go.
There you go, you got it.
It's yours. No.
I didn't put them all in your toy box. At the library to bring this baby back. Thank God for outdoor drop boxes, am I right?
Mark finally close enough.
Ooh. Yes! Bye, bitch! Woo!
End of flashback.
Today is Monday, the day after Easter. I've been thinking of what I want to read next and kind of what the theme for this vlog shall be. Not that they really need a theme. And I remembered that there's this e-arc that I was given by the publisher that I wanted to get to. The book comes out this month, and that book is She Drives Me Crazy by Kelly Quinlan. Now, y'all know I don't typically read YA contemporary romance. It just hasn't been my thing now that I've gotten, I guess, older and my reading tastes have changed. But when this cover dropped, I believe summer of last year, I immediately was like, I need to read that. From what I can tell, it's an enemies to lovers, fake dating, sapphic romance between a basketball player and the head cheerleader. And that is so up my alley. I'm like, yes, please. I don't know if this is Kelly Quinlan's debut or not. Regardless, I have not read another book from her. So I'm really excited to get to this, and I think that's what I'm gonna start out this week with. And I figured I could make this like a little April romances reading vlog because tomorrow Twice Shy by Sarah Hogle comes out. I honestly can't remember what this is about, but I remember reading the description when she first announced it and I was like, yes please. And also I read her debut last year, You Deserve Each Other, and I really enjoyed it, so I definitely want to check out this one as well. Like I said, it comes out tomorrow. I just remembered to pre-order it today, so that'll come probably at like the end of the week. So I'm gonna start the week with She Drives Me Crazy and end it with Twice Shy, hopefully, assuming I can still be in a good reading groove. And that way it's like a little April romances vlog that features a book you can get like immediately and a book that comes out at the end of the month. I believe She Drives Me Crazy comes out on April 20th. So yeah, that's the plan. I'll talk to you in another clip when I have something to update you on, because that's how reading vlogs work. You didn't need that explanation though. You did not. It is so hot in my room today because it's decently hot outside. But I still turned off both my normal fan and my window fan for the sake of the quality of this clip, so please note my humble sacrifice. I come to you with 2 unexpected updates. First is that Twice Shy arrived today. Amazon said it wouldn't come till Thursday. But she's here. She's so pretty. She's pretty short. I think like 300 pages almost exactly. But like so spring vibes from this cover. I love it. The birds are so fucking loud. Oh my god, can you hear them? Second update, and certainly the most surprising, I finished She Drives Me Crazy all in one day, mostly. I did try to go to sleep at 3 a.m. Tried for an hour, couldn't sleep, so then I stayed up until 6 a.m. finishing it, but details. And 5 stars? This book was so good. I don't know if I'm so surprised that I loved it so much because it's a YA contemporary romance, and that just is very hit or miss with me these days, or because the main reason I was so interested in this book in the first place was when the cover dropped and I was like, I need to read that. But it was so good. So as I believe I mentioned, this is a enemies to lovers fake dating romance between a basketball player, Scotty, and the head cheerleader, Irene. Scotty finds herself in a situation where she needs to take Irene to school in the mornings, and she notices that in doing so, it brings a lot of attention not only to her, but to her basketball team, who is pretty much ignored by her school and her community. And so Scotty hatches up a plan with Irene to do the whole fake dating thing so that she can continue to get attention for her basketball team and hopefully get them a winning season because of it, but also to get back at her ex, who she was very hurt by. And it was just so good. Like, hold on, I literally wrote down notes at 6 a.m. because I was like, I need to remember. So the writing was excellent. Like, sometimes you read a YA book and you're just like, you can just tell it's an adult writing this and that they don't really know what the teens are like, but this didn't have that sort of cringiness to it that I sometimes find. The banter between the love interests, Scotty and Irene, oh my god, absolutely impeccable. Irene as a character as a whole, I'm in love with her. Like, from the moment she walked in, she just has this energy about her that completely drew me to her. This is an Irene Abraham stan account, but also just like the characters in general, from our main to the love interests to their friends and all the side characters. I loved Scotty's best friend Danielle. I love the dynamic between Irene and her best friend Honeybell, who is this like sweet cinnamon roll girl, whereas Irene is seen as this kind of bitchy character, but you know, people don't really know her sort of thing. There's also this running gag throughout the book where they would change the sign, like the school's marquee sign or whatever, to something like inappropriate and sexual. So it would say like homecoming, and I think one of the things they changed it to was ho, I'm coming, and they just kept this gag up throughout the whole book, and it was so funny. Like, I genuinely was laughing out loud. I loved Scotty's family dynamic. It was so healthy and wholesome and sweet. The representation of girls' sports in this, ugh. Like, it was just so women focused. Like, there are some times where you have a book that's focused on women's sports and the main thing is them overcoming the men's opposing sports, like them fighting with the male athletes and yada yada. And like, there were certainly like offhand mentions of like, oh, the boys get this sort of representation but we don't. But the story as a whole, it was so focused on the women doing their shit and like helping themselves and like lifting themselves up with like, it doesn't matter what the boys are doing, like we don't need comparison. It was so good. I can't explain it. But as someone who loves watching sports but like hates how male dominated the sports world is and all of that, like, it's just, ooh, I'm impassioned. But I would say that people who don't enjoy sports could still enjoy this because I don't think it takes up that much of a role. Like, it's certainly a heavy aspect of both of these characters' lives, but I don't know, I don't feel like it's a sports romance, if that makes sense. I mean, it kind of is, but it's also not. And I loved the push about cheerleading and how they are just as much of athletes as basketball players, football players, soccer players, etc. The communication that the characters had and the growth and the way they handled their issues was so well done. Like, when the main third act climax conflict thing was coming, I was like, oh, this could be so messy, but it was handled so well. Like, oh my god. The town they live in is so fun and quirky. It's called Grandma Earl, and its whole thing is like, it became famous for having this Christmas store that was open like all year round, and Honey Belle is like part of that family, so she's just like this quirky, sweet cinnamon Christmas girl. It's so cute. My only negatives I would say is, one, it definitely has that thing where it has this teenager who's really into things from the 80s. I just don't know how realistic it is to have teens constantly being obsessed with like these older decades and so focused on them. Like, not that teens don't know older decades, but I don't know. It does become sort of a theme in the book that it made me more okay with it as it went on. Took me much too long to realize that the title is that song, She Drives Me Crazy. And my one other negative was that there were a few like Harry Potter references in here that I was like, aren't we done with that? Especially in a book featuring, you know, sapphic characters, this sort of queer space. I think it's important to think about all identities. So, you know, trans sapphics or just trans youth in general that might be picking this up, you know, let's not remind them of J.K. Rowling. Like, I did read an arc, so maybe it was removed from the finished copy. I couldn't tell you. But yeah, overall, I loved it. I read it in one day, like, hello. At one point, Scotty says something about an invisible string like between her and Irene, and so their song is Invisible String by Taylor Swift. I don't make the rules. It was just so cute, so warm and fun. Like, it had its heavier moments, but it just had this good feeling to it. I know in the author's acknowledgements they described it as campy, and so I would like definitely agree with that. It was just like, it was just so good. Irene and Scotty are so cute. I just kept squealing over them. They're just adorable, but like so witty and banty. Oh my god, it was so good. It was so good. So yeah, 5 out of 5 stars to She Drives Me Crazy by Kelly Quinlan. I believe this comes out on April 20th. Definitely go pick this up. I will be pre-ordering it so that I can have my own copy. I kept like making highlights when I was reading and wishing that I had a physical copy so that I could like tab it. It was just so good. It was so good. I need to like, I'm gonna be this book's champion. Like, okay, so tonight probably I'm gonna start Miss Twice Shy. I honestly don't know what this is about, so I will tell you once I start reading it, but I'm really excited. I loved Sarah Hogel's first book. I follow her on Twitter. I think she's so funny. Let's get these romance reads, baby. Open Spotify like it's 11:01. Do they have my album? And oh my god, new music for you. They sure fucking do. Something went wrong. Excuse me? Well, now I'm annoyed. What the hell, Spotify? Is it here? Is it here? Is it here? Excuse me? Okay, we got it. Let's go, baby! Yes! Hi, friends. Haven't really updated much this week, but I am 166 pages into Twice Shy. I never even gave a description for this. So basically, we follow this woman named Mabel who finds out that she has inherited her great aunt's manor, this like big home. She's super excited because life is shit and this kind of feels like it could be a fresh start. But when she gets there, she finds that the house that was once beautiful is absolutely falling apart, and she actually is not the sole inheritor. She has to share everything with the groundskeeper Wesley, who is this very grumpy, grouchy, please leave me alone kind of guy, whereas Mabel is a more like upbeat, need that human connection kind of gal. And so they kind of have to work through their differences, the different things that they want to do with the property, and it's a romance, so in that they start to catch feelings and blah blah blah. I'm enjoying this so far. I think once again, just like with You Deserve Each Other, the writing is so fresh and witty. Like, Sarah Hogel is just really good like for some great one-liners. I have some tabs going because how could I not? I can definitely relate to Mabel in a sense that life hasn't gone perhaps where she wanted it to, and she's this big daydreamer. I wouldn't say I get as lost in my own fantasies as she does, but that is definitely something I'm constantly doing. I will say the pacing feels maybe a little off, but I also feel it's because of how I've read it so far. It definitely feels like this should be a book that you read in like 1 or 2 sittings, and you absolutely can, because like I said, not very big. But I've been reading it kind of sporadically, not because I don't enjoy it when I'm sitting down and reading it, but just because that's how my reading has been. I think partially because I finished She Drives Me Crazy so quickly. I was like, okay, I can space out my reading and make time for other things, which is great, but I think I should have just like waited and not like read this so like off and on. I don't know, we'll see. So yeah, that is what I'm going to be focusing on. I probably could finish it tonight. Will I? That's a great question. And then if I do I start another book for this vlog? Do I not? Because like I don't know if I'll finish it in 2 days, but maybe it doesn't matter if I finish it. Like that's what I told myself I was gonna do. I wasn't gonna care if I finish it. Like if one book goes from one vlog to the next, it's okay. That still feels so weird for me. I don't know, it just feels like each book should contain to one vlog, but maybe that's not the case. I'm rambling as usual. I need to go finish the project that I'm working on, so catch you later. Catch you later. I can't stand myself. So it's Sunday now. I did actually finish Twice Shy on Friday night, and then yesterday I did like nothing. I just listened to Fearless, Taylor's version, of course, and played Uno and shit. So yeah. Well, let's talk about this book. I'm giving it a 4.5. I really liked it. You can see I have quite a few tabs because I think, as I mentioned, Sarah Hogle is just so good at writing these like witty one-liners. It's my favorite thing about her book. She just has these good snappy little sentences that I'm like, yes. Her writing overall is just really fresh, really fun. The relationship in this, oh my god, it has my whole heart. Like this is your quintessential grumpy sunshine, but as our grumpy boy starts to open up more, like he's just, I love him so much. I love him so much, and I found myself relating to him as well in quite a few ways. So it's really fun when you can relate to both characters in the relationship, and they're just so cute. And like the way this ends, like specifically the last little page here where it's like, I'm not gonna say what it is because like I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's almost like an epilogue but not quite. But it's just, it's so good. I was smiling so much, and yeah, I just really enjoyed it. The only reason it's not a full 5 stars is because I do still feel the pacing was a little off for me. Again, I don't know how much of that was the book and how much of it was my sporadic reading, when this is definitely like a 1-2 sitting kind of book. But I feel like the timeline wasn't super well established and it just felt a little off, but like not big of a deal. So still 4.5. Also, I'm not saying this anywhere else because if I'm wrong, I'm gonna sound really stupid, but I was reading the acknowledgements of the book like I always do, and she has this place where she thanks like readers and bloggers and booktubers, all these kind of people in the book community, for the love that she got for her first book, You Deserve Each Other. And most of the people she lists are just listed with one, like their first name. And I'm not saying that my name is in here, and I'm not saying that we've connected on Twitter in the past, like especially right when her debut was coming out, and we follow each other and all that. So like she could potentially be talking about me, and so this could be my first ever mention in a book's acknowledgements. I'm not saying it, but anyway, I loved this. You should pick it up. Super fun, super fast, super cute. If you want just like sort of grumpy sunshine enemies to lovers, but then turning into something really sweet and wholesome, like yeah, this is it. So that's it for this vlog. I really don't know how much footage I've gotten though, so I thought we could have a little fun because we did this during Vlogmas when Miss Evermore came out. I figured I could talk a little bit about Fearless, Taylor's version. If you don't care, feel free to click off the video here. Thanks for watching. But I think a lot of you are Swifties, or at least enjoy her music, and you've enjoyed when I talked about it in the past. So just a few quick thoughts to sort of round out the vlog. I honestly feel like Fearless is such a romancy love, specifically teen love, but like it can fit to whatever kind of album. So it really almost goes with the vlog too, because like cute romances, spring romances, like she talks about kissing in the rain so much, and I'm just saying. So I wanted to listen to it when it first came out from start to finish because I just feel like that's how albums should be listened to. Even if we have heard most of it and there were some new songs waiting at the end, I persevered. I don't think that was the word I was looking for. I was patient, I held back, I started from the beginning. Here's the thing about Fearless is I don't like remember listening to it when it first came out. I know I listened to the singles, I think more than the singles because like there's others that I'm like, yeah, I remember this. But I didn't get like super into it. And then so when I became more of a Taylor Swift fan last year when Folklore came out and I was going back and listening to all of her albums, that was a lot to take in. So there were some songs that if I didn't really love them the first time, I kind of didn't give them much more of a chance. So I don't know how much of it is I just didn't listen to it enough and I would have liked it, and how much of it is I didn't like it before but I like it now. But there's quite a few songs that I just wasn't that into before that I'm like really into now. Examples being Breathe, Tell Me Why, oh my god, You're Not Sorry, Untouchable. I remember when I listened to Untouchable, I was like, this song is so boring. Like I remember being so bored, like physically painfully bored. But now I love it, so like we have glowed up. Same thing with Comin' With the Rain, and also Hello, Bella and Edward song. Same thing with The Other Side of the Door, wasn't into it. I still think The Other Side of the Door isn't like the best song ever. Like it's solid enough, but the way it ends, like that outro, just, it brings it to a new level. Like, oh my goodness. The one song I didn't like first time around and I still don't like now is Superstar. I'm sorry, that song is so boring to me. And Hey Stephen, I enjoy it, but it's not one of my favorites. Like I know like the fandom really loves it, but for me it's kind of, it's not always a skip, but a lot of times it's a skip. Okay, I'm sorry. Also, I obviously adore her vocals, like her mature updated vocals, but for some of the songs I do miss a little bit of that grit, that breathlessness that she had when she was singing, you know, all those years ago when she was so young. One in particular that I feel like is not going to be in agreement with other people, because people are saying that they like this song more now, that they didn't appreciate it as much back then, but it was already my favorite song on Fearless. The Way I Loved You, iconic, so good. And I still like it, but I do think the original version is better. It just had a little more something that this mature, smooth voice of Taylor's now just doesn't do quite as well. I know I'm probably the only person with that opinion, but like... Also today I was listening to the album while I was showering and Change came on, and I've always liked Change too. I didn't realize that it wasn't like a song that the fandom liked until it's been talked about lately. But it hit me that Change, Taylor's version, is basically her singing to her younger self. And the way I started crying thinking about that, like it's literally like the perfect song for her to sing to her younger self about this whole situation with needing to re-record her music. And like think about her singing, but I believe in whatever you do and I'll do anything to see it through. Like her older self to her younger self being like, I believe in you and I'll do anything to make it better, including re-record all my albums. Ugh. And the line, we're getting stronger now, find things they never found. It's like her vocals getting better and the vault songs being the things they never found. Oh my god, I could go line by line for this, but just think about it if you haven't already, because it's like And then let's talk about those vault songs. So when I first listened to it, my least favorite was That's When, but now I would say that's probably like my fourth favorite. I think I would rank them, Mr. Perfectly Fine and Don't You are like tied right now. I can't pick. And when I heard Don't You for the first time, because we had obviously listened to Mr. Perfectly Fine the day before that, it's just so good. And I just know that Jack Antonoff went into that studio and he did what he had to do. Like I listened to that track and I was like, I hear him all over this. And it makes it so interesting because it's like some of these songs you listen, you're like, why wasn't this on the album in the first place? But would they have sounded as good without Taylor's voice being what it is now? And with Jack Antonoff's producing, who's to say? So those two are tied. Then it's You All Over Me, I love that. Then it's That's When. And then probably Bye Bye Baby and then We Were Happy. How those relate to the album as a whole, I don't know. I'm not ready to do like a ranking. Oh, and Forever and Always piano version. Holy shit. So those are all my Fearless Taylor's version thoughts. I've been enjoying so much like the social media talk about this and like the memes and the TikToks. It's just been great. Cannot wait until she releases her next re-recording. I think it's gonna be 1989, maybe this summer. I'm not ready, but I'm ready. All right, that's gonna be it for this vlog. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you in my next one. Bye.